I had 25 students. By day 2, I had 19 because 6 parents switched out of the class because they saw me and they were like, there's no freaking way, before I even got a word in. Do I think that it is okay for a parent to see me and go, not around my kid? No, I don't think that's okay. I feel like that's really crossing the line.
It's still the right of the parent to make that decision as to whether or not they want their child to learn from you.
Okay.
Like, it's still that parent's right. Like, you can disagree with their motivations, their motives, their ideas,
Would you say
but it's still their child.
That's a fact.
That's a falsehood.
How is that
not
false?
fact.
That's a fact.
I'm gonna let you go first.
What was that rebuttal? What's wrong with it?
If
Is this transphobic?
that person was, what if that parent did it because that person's black?
That ain't cool.
That's my point. Okay, that's literally all I'm gonna say. Because it's not like the parents ever heard anything about what, I don't know how, I'm gonna just say how they are teaching, how they are handling themselves. They said that they had never even said a word.
Mm-hmm. They just saw them or saw this person and said, "No,
Right.
not my kid."
Right. So why is it okay if they were black that the parent was like, oh, I don't want to get...
Because thank you for saying black. Do we get to choose to be black, or is that just something that we're born with?
Born with?
Okay. This person chose to be a transgender, correct?
No!
That person did. She didn't. Well, this person's a guy now, right? Correct?
I'm not sure. That's why I'm saying they. I don't know.
Oh, I think this person's trying to transition into women because by the lipstick. Okay, cool. But that was her choice.
No.
What? Okay. So he's not choosing to transition, right?
No. I mean, okay. Look, first off, it's like a...
I know where you're going with this, and I'm going to rebuttal that, but also agree with it as well too. Because I'll say this to you right now. Yeah. I'll say this.
Yeah.
To make sure that like people don't think like I'm a major asshole.
It's too late.
It's all good. Fuck them.
Say it with your chest.
I watched the interview where it was Diane Sawyer and Caitlyn Jenner, who was once Bruce Jenner, and he described his childhood growing up and why he's making that decision now, and why he did make that decision now to transition into Caitlyn Jenner. What he said, I totally got it.
But why are you saying he?
No, I'm talking about what Bruce did to transition into.
Well, now she identifies as her, so
yeah. See, chill out with that shit. I'm literally saying this. I'm going from piece to piece. I'm not just talking like Caitlyn doesn't exist. She does. I'm just talking about what Bruce was to Caitlyn. Because are we gonna act like Bruce doesn't like Bruce didn't exist at all? Because that if we're doing that, then we're just making up shit. Bruce Jenner was a real person until Caitlyn transitioned into her.
Continue. Just go off.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say?
All I was gonna say was Bruce at the time when he was a man had the interview. That's why I'm saying his name.
Sure.
Bruce at the time. I swear to God, I am. Bruce at the time said, "I tried on my mom's shoes. I tried on my sister's dresses, and I just felt so alive in that." But then one thing that he said to me that I'll never forget that he said was, "I feel as if like I'm trapped in this body that I don't want." So to feel as if this body that you have doesn't belong to you, I totally empathize with that. I do empathize with the fact that when you get up every day and you don't feel like you're in the right body, I feel bad for you because you didn't ask to be born in that body. And if you don't feel like your true self, I empathize with that. What I don't empathize with is making up shit in order to like prove justification of what you're doing. Like, bro, that they, them, I don't get that.
Oh,
because
can I stop you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that transgenderism is a choice?
Yes and no. I think it's a choice to go through with it. Like you know what you're doing. I think that's the choice. I think that's right there is the choice, the transitioning part.
I don't think so.
Okay, tell me why.
And hear me out.
Yep, go ahead.
First off, I think if you if you read any literature or ask any experts, although there is a debate, there is also almost, especially in 2023, a consensus that we're moving towards, at least, that transgenderism, they're pretty much, they have a certain gender that they identify with from birth. And there's a lot of social factors that almost lead them away from that, if that makes sense.
Elaborate on that.
Meaning that gender, even as a concept, is a pretty, fairly modern thing, first off. It's a pretty modern thing. And from childhood, we're pretty much, hey kid, if you're a boy, take the blue toy. Don't touch the pink stuff.
True.
That's girly.
Facts.
Right?
Yep.
But imagine telling a kid what their favorite color should be. Okay? And you can easily convince a kid, you don't like pink, you like blue. Right?
True, yeah.
And he could go his entire life, now he likes blue. But think about it.
Subconsciously, he likes pink.
But my point is we don't even know, because his whole life he was conditioned to not like pink and to like blue.
Can I ask you one question right quick then?
Sure.
You're saying from birth they've been conditioned.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
Okay. So when a kid comes to their parent and says, hey, I want to begin transitioning, how does that kid know?
How does that kid know?
Yeah. How does that kid know what they're doing is correct? A kid doesn't know any better from those colors. Then how does a kid know what's better for them to transition? And that's no slight or any disrespect to any kid that might want to do that. Like D Wade's kid, I think what D Wade's doing is very brave and honorable.
Well, hold on, let me say this.
Yeah,
I think the best way that I could explain would be one word, and that is suicide. And what I mean by that is the transgender population from time. We're talking even from the caveman day. Well, not the caveman days, but you know what I mean. They commit suicide at a significantly higher rate than gender conforming people. They just do. It is what it is.
Okay.
So if you were a parent, or if you were a teacher or a doctor or a psychologist, you have to look at that and say, why? What's going on? And how can I help? Right? And for the first 3,000 years of human existence, right? What do we tell transgender people? You're weird. Stop doing that. Just be your traditional
self,
whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they kept killing themselves, right?
Yep.
So even if in our minds we can't understand it, or we don't know why, or we don't know what's going on, what we do know is what we've been doing has not worked for them, right? Yeah. So if I was a parent and my kid liked to play with, if my boy liked to do things that I thought usually girls do, I have two options. I can force him to do boy things and just subject my kid to be more likely to kill themselves so I can feel better about it, or I could try something different. And that's all I would say. And I'm not saying it has to make sense. All I'm saying is, if you think about it this way, that kid is more likely to kill himself. Why? You know what I mean? Why? It's not because they want to.
It's because they feel like they have to.
It's almost like this, right?
Because they're not living in peace.
It's almost like this. Imagine we'll say Uganda, literally. Uganda,
they're going crazy over there, bro.
Yeah, they just passed a law, outlawed everything, right? Imagine you are a gay or transgender person in Uganda right now.
You're cooked.
You're cooked. Okay?
You're cooked.
Maybe even literally. Okay?
Yeah,
they might really make soup of you.
Yeah.
So it's like, if that person in Uganda, they're still a person. They still think. They still think logically. Yeah. And you're telling me, I know that if I do X and Y, they will kill me. I will die for this. It just wouldn't make sense for this to be some sort of decision. I'm not doing it for attention. I don't want attention. They'll kill me. You know what I'm saying? It almost has to be And I'm just trying to. It almost has to be something that you just can't do anything about. It's either they kill you or you hurt yourself in some kind of way. You know what I mean? Like there can't be any other option. Does that make sense?
You don't think that transgender people can just live in private and just do what they do? Not in Uganda, but like.
No, I don't know if humans can do that.
You've seen a ton of people go off the grid plenty of times.
Well, no, I mean, okay, here's a metaphor. It's almost like saying, let's say back in the day when like interracial relationships were illegal. It's almost like saying, oh, well, why can't they just do it in the house? Why do they have to do it out in the open? Because you're human. You could hide it, but if you do, now you're sad. Now we take it back to the
But there are
suicide.
some people though, Josh. There are some people that are homebodies. They just stay home and that's what they love to do. Now I'm saying like there are people that would just live in silence and do their thing. There are people that are like that are transgender. That don't need to be outside or they don't need to like broadcast that they're transgender. They just want to do what they do and live their life. And I think that's fair. But at the same time, I do adhere to your point about just living your life and living through peace. It's tough for people that like can't help what they are and people are judging them for it and not just I'm all about minding my business.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm about. But one thing that I don't agree with that is going on with all this, it's like the minute you say you don't agree with something or the minute that you don't get something, you are attacked for it every time. Now, the way that I'm talking, I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just kind of giving my opinions on what I think, what I've seen and things that don't make sense to me. But it's like this. When it comes to the LGBT community, transgender community, it's like you say one thing, bro. You say one thing, and it's like,
dude, I said the N-word one time.
No, chill out with that. I'm not even saying that. I'm talking about if you have a difference of opinion. It's okay to have a difference of opinion and still be respectful.
Dude, I only called you a porch monkey one time, dude. You were sitting on the porch.
Is that what I'm saying?
You were sitting on the porch.
Is that what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I said that? That came out of my mouth.
I mean, yeah.
You are already assuming. See, you left this ass niggas. You are already assuming that I'm speaking from a point where it's like I'm going to just disrespect that whole community. No, I'm talking about like, for instance, they, them. What is that?
It's how someone wants to identify.
But listen, let me ask you a question. When we grew up in English class, what did that mean?
What do you mean?
When you say they, them, what did that mean?
It was still a pronoun.
No. What did it mean? I'm asking you a question.
It was still a pronoun.
But what did it mean?
Like multiple people?
Okay, so now it doesn't mean that?
I mean, what's wrong with that? Okay, look,
it's incorrect.
No.
That's like me saying 2 + 2 = 6.
Okay, let me ask you
I
this.
said so.
Let me ask you this.
The fuck does that mean?
Let me ask you this. When you were younger, did you say transsexual?
I didn't even know what the fuck that was.
No, I'm saying like back in the day, right? Let's say like 5-6 years ago, everyone said like, let's say like the tranny word, right?
Yeah.
That's short for transsexual.
Yeah, we said tranny, I guess.
Right. But no, hear me out. That was short for transsexual.
Okay.
Right? No one says that anymore. Why?
Why not?
It's because it's wrong.
How's it wrong?
Correct.
Why is that wrong? Explain it to me.
Because they aren't transsexual, they're transgender. So the only point I'm trying to make is that all because we said something in the past doesn't mean it's right.
Hold up, nigga. Nah. They, them means a group of people, correct?
Okay.
Is that not like an English, like how we speak proper English?
Can one word mean two different things?
Nigga. Stop.
Why? No, seriously, no, answer that. Can one word mean two different things?
That makes sense.
What do you mean makes sense? They're words.
But like, are we just able to change whatever now?
Yeah.
Why?
Remember when lit just meant you turn something on and now it means something's fun?
That's slang, nigga. I'm talking about English for the.
That's what. But,
that's slang. That's slang. So they them is they them slang?
Huh?
Is that what is it?
It's just a new word. Why are you against new words? Like,
because that's not what it means.
No, wait, hold on. What is wrong with new words? Or like,
if I say, yo, they go over there, what? It's only one nigga. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, wait.
Does that make sense to you?
Wait, I can't give you an example. Okay,
go ahead.
This is an olive branch. This is an olive branch. So there was a scenario. My girl is bartender, right?
Yeah.
And there is a group of people in front of her, and one lady was trying to order a drink for her friend, right? And the lady looks at my girl and is like, I'm going to get them a drink. And my girl was like, so how many drinks do you want? And she goes, I'm just for them. My girl was like,
Nigga, stop.
My girl was like, well, how many? And the lady almost refused to just be like,
one.
What she could have just said is just one.
Just one.
For them.
Yeah.
You know, and it would have been fine. But instead, the person was probably being a little more like, you know, combative than she needed to be, right?
Because we don't, like, your girl is me. I don't get that shit. You're saying them.
Right.
I'm saying, okay, how many drinks?
Right.
Oh, just for them.
Right.
How many drinks, nigga?
No, but hear me out, though.
Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. That infuriates me.
No. I know it did. And don't get me wrong. That also is annoying to me, right? Because grammatically, you got to be, but hear me out, though. That's a problem for that lady. She needed to be more communicative. Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with referring to them as them.
Okay.
It's just that lady that should have just simply have just said, oh, just one for them.
Now hear me out on this then. Okay, that's cool. Actually, I respect that.
That's all I'm saying.
I respect that. I can respect that. You communicate that to me. This is what it is. This is what it ain't. Cool.
Right.
That's fine with me.
Right.
But what I was getting to before is when we have these discussions, because I know that you're very pro just love everybody, which I am too. I'm not really on no like kill him. No, like I'm not on that.
I'm not Ugandan.
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. I'm from Ghana, nigga. But one thing that I don't like is this community.
What community?
The LGBT transgender community.
Uh-huh.
If you don't understand something, if you don't get something, or if you question it, they are immediately on your ass. And I don't think that's fair to people that are really asking real questions, people that don't understand, not for the people that are like, on this hate tirade. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about for people like me, because I don't hate nobody. But when I'm questioning what you're talking about, and I'm questioning what it is to you and how I don't understand it, why is it that like it feels like, you ever watch Matilda?
I think so. Is that the one where you?
No. Matilda was the little white girl,
right? That
came into that school,
right?
Move things with her mind and shit.
Yeah.
Do you remember the teacher, the principal, Miss Trunchbull?
Yeah.
I feel like that. Like, when Matilda and all them were in school, when Miss Trunchbull came in, it was sit up straight, shut the fuck up. I feel like that's what they do. They put that fear in you where it's like, sit down straight and shut the fuck up. Because if you say anything that we don't like, you're done. I don't fuck with that. That's just me though. And I feel like I have a valid opinion in that because I feel like there's some people who don't really get something that are challenging you, asking you questions, that want to know, what is it? Why do you think this way? Okay. I'm not talking about the people that are on the hate speech or none of that. I'm not talking about none of that.
Right.
I'm talking about for the people like me that don't understand you. Why is it that we have to like shut up and be quiet or like watch what we say if we don't understand something? I'm not even talking about being disrespectful. I'm talking about really wondering what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's like a bad smell almost. It's like, damn, like, boy, shut the fuck up or something's going to happen to you.
Right. That's
how I feel like that is that with that community. I don't think it's fair.
I would say a good equivalent, I guess, that I'm personal with is, let's say during BLM. This is probably the best metaphor I could give you. During the BLM riots, there was a similar conversation going on, right? Where it was like, you had within like BLM, you had like, I'll say 2 different personalities, right? Let's say a protester was like, oh, we need police reform, we need this, we need that. And then let's say someone that would be, let's say in your position of saying, look, I just don't know what's going on. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. And I need you to explain to me why we need police reform, basically, right? A lot of like conservative white people probably were in that camp of being like, okay, I hear you, but like, I need you guys to explain this to me. Or, the other side was, okay, you guys are rioting, but why? Like, what do you want? Like, I need you guys to tell me this, right? And within BLM, I noticed there were two. First off, BLM is not it's a movement. When I say BLM, it's like the movement of it, not like
we're
the
not talking about George Soros, nigga. Leave that shit alone.
Not the org.
Stop trying to
the us.
Yeah,
right?
Stop doing that shit.
Right.
Go ahead.
You had two camps. One camp was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna explain this to you. They were more of the people that were like, they were more concerned with posting things on social media because they wanted to educate people and being like, hey, come talk to me. If you feel like you can't talk to these other people, talk to me and I'll explain this to you, right?
Gotcha.
Then you had other people, which were more so like, I don't want to hear that. If you don't know now, you never gonna know.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have time to explain it to you.
Right.
I got other stuff to do.
Right, facts.
And those people would come off as extremely hostile and antagonistic.
Rightfully so.
Because it depends on how you think about it, right? Mm-hmm. They're like on some, if I have to explain to you why we need police reform, I need you to read a book first, or I need you to watch a Netflix documentary or something, right? I don't have time. I could be in the streets actually talking to some kind of politician or something, drafting something. I don't have time to explain this to you right now, right?
Yeah.
But that person, they're not even going to articulate it like that. They're just going to say, F you, white boy, back off, right?
Yeah.
So I guess that is kind of the best metaphor I could give you in terms of like, you have certain parts of a community that when they hear something in their opinion that's ignorant on their community, they don't want to take the time to explain it to you. They'd rather just tell you to F off because they got other stuff they're doing. Or in their mind, it's like, what they're saying, it's going to take me 20 years to explain to them how toxic it is. So I'm just going to tell them to F off and move on.
Right. Now, to your argument, what you just said about BLM and everything like that, I feel like because of slavery, and if you don't know that by now, you just choose not to know. I think it's a little bit different compared to the transgender issue due to the fact of that slavery, in a sense, wasn't something that it's not even wasn't something, but it's that slavery was just so, like, the history behind it is so bad.
Okay.
And how these people were just taken and put in these ships and shipped away.
No, slavery
and
was
treated,
bad.
Just
That's
treated
facts.
as just like dogs, like treated as animals. And I think because of that, when we talk about the things like BLM and police reform,
okay,
you have to give it to us because look at the history. Now we got people in Florida trying to wipe away that history, act as if that's not a real thing. It's a real thing. Emmett Till died because he whistled at a white woman.
Right.
Come
I
on.
do that every day. Wait, so are you saying that, I know they're different, right? But what does that mean about the transgender struggle in your opinion?
I just think that I already understand the struggle.
Okay.
What I don't understand is these new terms that people are coming up with and things like that. And I think, once again, I also think this too. As a community, they really have no tolerance for bullshit, which I respect that. Because I feel like Black people need to also hold that same standard as a community as well.
We do.
But, like, do you think we do it as great as they do?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think any marginalized group does, to be fair. I mean, it's like this, bro. I'm telling you. Like, let's say like this comment right here, bro, talking about what can someone who doesn't accept basic biology possibly teach me, right? What they're basically saying is, how can someone who's transgender understand biology, right? But like what this person isn't understanding is that transgenderism has maybe 2% to do with biology, or even just it's almost tough to even break this down because it's like what does someone being transgender have to do with them understanding a book and being able to explain to a child what a book means? But anyway, what I'm saying is like, let's say you rewind time to like the 1800s when they thought Black people were biologically different than white people, right? This comment would have been the exact same comment if they had, slave master Instagram. Would have been the same thing. Yeah. This dude would have been just as ignorant. But to answer your question, let's say in 2023, this was a black person, and the problem that the parent had was that a black person was teaching. And someone made this comment referring to how black people are just biologically different than white people. 28 replies. Brother, there'd be 28,000 replies calling this dude an idiot, saying how stupid he is.
But I think, Josh, I think, my fault.
No, go ahead.
I think, though, with this comment, I see what this person's trying to say. They're saying, you can slice it up any way you want. Mm-hmm. You are still a man. You were born that way. Biologically.
Okay.
That's it.
Right.
You're a human being. The way that you came in was as a man.
Right.
Now, the thing that he doesn't understand is that person that was born as a man doesn't feel like one.
Right.
So I think that's where the disconnect is where the people who just see the outside, but they don't understand the inside of what a person's going through. And that's why we're having conversations about mental health and those type of things, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I've never been like, I think I've never had that in my mind ever.
You've never been gay before?
No, nigga.
Not even a little bit?
No.
Not even like, you never been.
Have you?
You never been like a 1 on the gay scale out of 10? Just like a 1?
Nah. I mean, I give niggas credit for like, oh, he looks good, or because like you can't. If I said that dude was ugly, but like majority rules say he ain't, I'm a hater.
See, that's like a 3 on the gay scale.
How? I'm telling the truth.
See, like a 1 on the gay scale to me is like you played a sport, right?
Yeah.
You be smacking ass, don't you?
Back in the day.
Yeah, that's a 1 on the gay scale. Yeah, that's a 1. See?
No, that was just showing like good work. You know what I'm saying? Like, good tackle, nigga. Good reception, nigga. Let's go. Like, that's what I'm on.
See?
But like, I ain't
and the
like,
Pope was like, I did the same thing.
I ain't like, damn, I ain't doing all that.
See, the Pope was like, good prayer, little boy.
All right, bro. Now you're comparing a locker room to the Pope.
I'm just saying, gay is gay, all right, and everybody can be a little gay.
Fuck out of here.
I'm just saying, everybody.
You one of them niggas, bro. I don't see that.
Everybody's a little gay. You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm just saying that's the disconnect, right?
Okay.
This person is talking about basic biology, meaning that you came in this world as a man, you're a man. But what he's not understanding is this person does not feel like that. And I think that's where we need to come together and talk about these type of things, because I can tell, like, when a person's saying, like, I feel like I was born in the wrong, but I understand you. Mm-hmm. You feel that. Like, bro, I was just thinking the other day, like, I was watching, I remember back in the day, I'll never forget this episode of Fairly Odd Parents, where Timmy Turner essentially, like, wished that he didn't have emotions.
Okay.
Could you imagine if you just didn't? Like, if you couldn't feel sadness, if you couldn't feel just anxiety, like, you couldn't feel those feelings? Yeah. Like, I wish I could have took away sadness from my emotions, because I don't want to feel that ever. Now, do I love feeling happy and you know, just joyous? Hell yeah. But the sadness, I think, also makes you human. So at the end of the day, like, people have feelings, people feel shit. You may not feel the same way, but they do. And I think that's where I'm not on this hate tirade, because I understand that they have different feelings about their life. It's their life, nigga.
Yeah.
How am I going to tell somebody how to live? It's their life. They going to do what they want to do. I think this country especially is too worried about what other people are doing. So much that you leave comments like this, when you could have said, my G, you were born a man. I don't understand why you feel like you can say these things. Like, I'm not understanding you.
Yeah.
And then that person says, my G, I don't feel as if I am one.
But see, and that goes back to that, like the example I was saying earlier, where this comment inevitably leads down to a conversation about the difference between sex and gender. They're two totally different things. And I could just imagine if I was transgender, that would be a conversation that I am sick of having.
But at the same time, when they say sex, right? When they say sex, and they say, like, when you're on an application, male or female, is that not
Yeah, but hear me out.
So what's like the difference? I don't understand.
Okay.
See, I don't understand.
I got you. If your sex is your sexual organs, your gender is how you present yourself. That's why,
You said your gender is what?
is how you well, it's complicated, but it's essentially it's either how you present yourself or it's how you personally kind of identify in terms of what we call gender, if that makes sense. It's kind of circular.
So when I circle on my application, I'm a man.
Okay.
I'm only doing that because I have a dick.
Well, hear me out. It depends on your audience, right? Like, hear me. Here's what you got to understand. If someone is transgender, when they go to the doctor's office, doctor asks, "Are you a male or a female?" They'll probably say whatever sexual organs they have, because it's relevant. You know what I mean? If it's a doctor, he has to know. Do you need to go to a urologist or a gynecologist? Where are we going? Okay. And that person is not confused about that. Okay. If something's wrong with my penis, I need to go to a urologist. Okay. I need to see a guy that looks at dicks. But, right, if I am, applying for a job or something, if, let's say, literally I've done as much transitioning as I've needed to, I've even, if anyone would to look at me, or like, let's say this person, right, I would assume that they would, want to be treated more feminine or whatever, right? So for the purpose of their job application, this person might put maybe unidentified, or let's just say, for example, they put female, right? Because that's how they want to be treated. You know what I mean? It's just how you want to be treated. And that's okay.
Gender is all about how you feel like you are as a person.
Sure, yeah.
So but at the same time, though, I've been seeing a lot of videos on the internet where people say, I identify as this, I identify as that.
Okay.
But then when there's a video like Pierce Morgan was saying, I identify as a black lesbian.
I guess it goes
when
down.
is it? And then he said you said that this is limitless, so I can really identify as whatever I want.
You can. I mean, it's like the.
But do you see the issue with that? Where does it stop?
Well, again, that's like one of those it's called like the attack helicopter, where someone says, "Well, I sexually identify as a helicopter," and for me, it goes back to suicidality, 1,000,000%. And people might disagree with me on this. That's fine. But for me, it goes back to suicidality, where if I am interested in what is the best thing for the most amount of people, okay, I cannot deny that there is a large population of people that are literally offing themselves because they cannot identify the way they want to identify, okay? And this might piss you off. No, hear me out.
Yeah, go ahead.
But let's say, theoretically, there was a large population of people that were racially confused, and they were literally offing themselves at a higher rate because they wish they could identify as a Korean, but they're not Korean. See, I knew. But if it was the case, I would have to respect it, but it's not the case, so it's probably not a thing.
Yeah.
Right? That's why it seems so goofy to us. Huh?
I'm a 32-year-old white man. that boy don't work.
Exactly.
He said, I could say I'm Rihanna, but I ain't. That's what I'm talking about, though.
Exactly.
You could say you are a bunch of these things, but really, are you, though? I think that's the conversation that needs to be had. When are we going to put a limit on that? Because now people are kind of getting damn near disrespectful, but also just what's it called? Some people are kind of taking it as a joke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we have put limits on it. Okay, let's say Rachel Dolezal, right? That is such a rare case. That's happened. That's why it was so famous, is because it happened so rarely that someone thinks that they're racially confused, right? And we all laughed at her. Okay.
Was this the shorty that had her hair curly and
Rachel Dolezal was a white person that wanted to be black, right?
Goofy.
And she racially identified as black. And we as a community, don't be wrong, there were definitely people. Yeah, there were definitely people that we should respect it.
No.
And they'll exist. But most of us were like, okay, this is kind of goofy, right?
It's weird.
What my point is that because there's only one Rachel Dolezal, or maybe there's 10, whatever, and Rachel Dolezal is still alive and well today, it's fine. But let's say there were millions, and I mean millions, of people in the world that were like, man, I'm going to off myself right now unless I can say the N-word.
That's weird.
It is weird. And if we looked them in the eyes and were like, hey guys, this is very goofy, you guys should stop this, and they kept offing themselves, you got it. I mean, as a society, we'd have to make a decision, okay? Like we'd have
to. As a society, we should whoop your ass for even thinking that shit was even cool, nigga. You're weird. Period. Yeah. Like this conversation that we're having.
This conversation is a little
off the tangent, but like when we talk about transgender and we talk about what isn't what is, when I'm talking about basic English, the English that you are taught from pre-K to 12th grade, in college and beyond, if you choose to go to college. They, them was never one person.
Bro, what is wrong with multiple definitions for one word?
Because if you're coming up with that word now, it's too late.
What do you mean? It's not too late.
It's too late, bro.
Just learn a new word.
Nah, it's too late. Because now you're going to confuse all of us. It's too late.
When's the last time? Okay, let's say the
Give
word.
me one new word right now that means something else. Or give me another word that like I know, but it means something else besides they, them. Like give me another one.
Literally, I've picked up saying, I'm not even going to hold you. I probably started saying that maybe, I don't know, maybe like 3-4 years ago. I'm not literally holding you. I'm just saying.
Bro, that's slang. That's slang.
It's a new word.
No.
It's a new word.
No. I'm talking about like, no. See, this is what I'm talking about.
It's a new word.
There's a difference between me and you talking to your boss, like at work. I'm talking about that. But at the same time, companies have now adjusted to what the transgender community.
I will literally say the word transgender. The word transgender is a new word.
Oh, well, okay. I mean, I accept it. I accept that word for what it is because it's easily explainable.
Then why don't you wait? So you don't like the they thing because it's hard?
No. It's incorrect. Grammatically. If you want to call me the grammar police, it's incorrect.
There's no... Oh, man. It's just
See, you're not understanding me, bro.
I understand. It's a word.
Yes. With one definition.
But what's wrong with two?
Because it doesn't make sense.
To you.
Grammatically.
It just needs more context around it. That's all it is.
Okay. I'm just saying.
Matter of fact, I'll give you an example. Can I give you one more example?
Yeah, go ahead.
Done? In Chinese, to say him or her is one word. It's one word. It's ta, T-A. It could be a he. It could be a her. You have no idea what you're talking about unless you put context around it. Okay. So all I'm saying is, I get it in English. Maybe having words like they, it's confusing, but I'm saying in other languages, it makes sense. Like, I know humans can do it. Like, I know we can do it.
So you're just talking about evolving. Evolving these words. Like, not just limiting them to one definition.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the same way.
Okay. I mean, when you say it like that, cool. But it still don't make sense to me.
No, and I honestly, now I'm thinking about it, I think it's a good example. Like, because in Chinese, like, if you say ta, it could mean... Like, if there was a boy or a girl standing in front of me and I said ta, you would have no idea who I'm talking about.
Unless you
elaborated. I elaborated, right? And that person from the example I said earlier, talking about get they a drink or get them a drink, that person
should have elaborated.
Elaborate, you know.
Yeah, but also that person needs to get that chip off their shoulder and understand that people don't understand.
True. Because
once again, being black in this country, right? There are people that just don't understand what that means, but then they try to tell me what it means. Okay. Bitch, you're not black. You don't know what that means. And once again, I'm not speaking on the transgender community as if I'm knowledgeable or I know everything. I'm saying, nigga, I don't get it. I don't get the they, them part. Okay. I do get the suffering. I do get the issues. I do get why you guys are trying to fight the good fight. No one's arguing that. Not on this side. I ain't arguing that. I understand basic human rights and what in humanity. I understand that humans have emotions. There's not one person that's just a big tough guy or a
Right.
tough woman every fucking day.
Right.
I know at least one day you are crying at your crib in
Right.
silence because you want to keep your rep as the tough motherfucker,
Mhm.
but you ain't. Because we all feel the same emotions, and I
Right.
think once you understand that, we can coexist.
Mhm.
That like motherfuckers ain't. We're not all the same.
Right.
So once we all realize like, oh, okay, like he thinks this way, I don't, but I think a certain way. He doesn't think the same way as me. How do we coexist? How do we fucking figure out, how we can be even keel? How do we just figure that out and be neighbors? Because essentially, I think about the earth as this. You may not look like me, you may not even like me, but you're still my neighbor. You live on the same planet I do, Earth.
Right.
You might even live in the same country as I do, America. You're still my neighbor, bro. You're still somebody that I got to see every once in a while or every day.
Mm-hmm.
So let's keep it to the point where if you don't like me, cool. But at least respect me as your neighbor, respect me as a person that's just trying to live just like you, pay my bills just like you. I'm trying to have a roof over my head just like you. I have a family just like you.
Mhm.
So just remember that before you get disrespectful, or because right now I don't think personally I've been disrespectful at all. I feel like I've been trying to gain knowledge about what it is that y'all are fighting, what it is that y'all are trying to change, and what it is that y'all are trying to do in this world as a whole.
Mhm.
Because there's some people that just look at transgender people as just like the devils and all that sort of shit. But at the same time, like the real devil out here, if we want to talk about murdering and lynches, who's been doing that? White men. Who's been really committing these school shootings? White men.